I remember my very first BNI meeting. I didn't actually know what I was walking into. I had never heard of BNI. I just got invited to this event and I'm like, okay, here I am. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a room full of people. Well, that's been 18 years for me. So, quite a while that I've had an opportunity to learn what BNI is all about. And while it is a group that focuses on generating referrals, there's so much more that you can get from BNI. And I'm super excited today to be joined from across the world. Hello, welcome.
Thank you.
So excited to have you here with us.
It's exciting to be here.
Where in the world are you coming in from?
I'm calling in from Taguig, which is in Manila, Philippines.
Ah, so it's pretty late there, I would guess.
Yes, it's past 10 o'clock, past my normal bedtime.
Well, we appreciate you staying up past your normal bedtime to tell us a little bit about your BNI experience. So, before I get there, I do want to tell you a little bit about Jarmo. He is a 9-year executive director in the Philippines. Since 1989, when he left on a sabbatical year with Up with People, he's been traveling, dancing, working, and having a good time in 9 different countries. I don't think I've even visited 9 different countries, let alone lived in them. But he's been involved in the tourism industry, worked with a dive master, and is active in the moving and relocation industry. Since 1994, he's been associated with, and proudly so, BNI. And he's going to tell us a little bit about that story. Though I was looking and I'm like, maybe that's right, maybe that's wrong. So tell us a little bit about how you got involved in BNI.
I got involved in BNI when I was working in Doha, Qatar. I was the chairman of the Swedish Businessmen's Association, and we were arranging a big networking event involving other chambers and networks in Doha. And I was tired of the old kind of networking, just drinking and giving out the business cards to everyone. So I was this was 2014, so 9 years ago. So I came to websites and I kept reading about BNI. So I decided to send an email because there was no BNI in Qatar, but there was BNI in Dubai. And I actually visited a meeting in Dubai about 9 years ago, just a few months before we launched
Mm.
in Doha. And I was ready to join even without seeing the meeting. But after the meeting, I was excited. I invited everybody that I knew, literally.
We've got it. We got to fill the room some way, some shape, somehow, right?
Yes.
So
I
how
had
did you go?
24 guests on our launch.
So when people say I can't find any visitors, you're what would you say to them?
I don't think I can say the word. But I have invited hundreds of people. I invite everyone. I have no filter. You might not be able to become a part of the group, but you will most likely meet someone that you could connect with. You could do business with someone. So, yeah, I do not believe that people have invited everybody that they know. Just, yeah, so I have sponsored about 40 members by now, and I'm very proud to have done so.
Yeah, congratulations. That is absolutely amazing. So we're here today. Our topic of the conversation is BNI is business unexpected, and we're here. Though we do have Scott joining us from Scotland. He's Scotland's magician, and he's like, you can say the word that you would want to say to those people that think they've invited all the visitors. However, my channel is PG, so we won't say the word today, but I know we're all thinking it sometimes. So thanks, Scott. We have a hello from Malaysia. I'm not sure who this is. Your account is not connected. So either put into the comment your name, or you can go to, don't ask me why Restring does this. You can go to chat bit.restream.io/FB, and it will connect your account so we can see who you are. All right, so talk to us a little bit more about this BNI Business Unexpected.
What I, one, it's first of all, BNI was very unexpected for me 9 years ago. I had never heard of it, and it was such a blessing into my business life at the time. So I became a member in Doha, Qatar, and I was able to help people just by doing my own business. And I remember the biggest referral that I was ever able to give was not really a referral. It was a recommendation. I had a pets I had an pest control company that did such a good job that I decided to write them. Back in the old days, we wrote what is it called?
Like
It's
testimonial letters,
a
success
testimonial
stories.
letter. Exactly. And that testimonial letter ended up for this company to win a deal worth more than $1 million because they were into other businesses as well. And because of it, they were competing with several companies in Qatar. And and I know this story because the owner came to the BNI meeting to thank me personally,
Mm.
and he told me that when they had a meeting with the company they, that were establishing themselves in Qatar, they asked, "Why did you choose our company?" Because it was a fairly new company, and they said the letter that they had that was a part of the bid, which was actually my testimonial letter.
Mm.
And I took time to create it, to write the journey that I went through. And I did not work with them because they were the cheapest. I worked with them more than a year before I wrote this letter based on my own experience. So getting all that thank you and that gratitude, uh, I still live on it. It's many years ago now. It's like 7 years ago, but it still makes me feel real good. And so many expected things happen when we become organized, when we become systematic about not just waiting for things to happen.
Mm.
And that's, I believe in random acts of kindness. But after being in BNI, I believe in systematic acts of kindness. Don't wait for things to randomly happen, because when we put some thought and planning into what we're doing, more things can happen than just waiting for the randomness of it all. But I do like random things, and I'm a big believer that being in BNI just increases the possibility of random things happening more and more.
I love it, and I'm getting ready to ask you like what kind of systems you have because I'm like, how could you even have? And then I'm like, oh yeah. So at Ascensive, we have a networking scorecard that we use to measure really our giving activities. What are we doing to help motivate our network to really stay top of mind? So I'm like, okay, I guess I do have a system. And for those of you that are like, ooh, systems, I don't like systems either. However, they're really good because they actually help you make things get done. So I appreciate it if systems aren't the thing you're in love with, though I highly recommend them. So, what are some ways that we can kind of systematize our approach?
I'd say start listening to Ivan Meissner's podcasts and do the 24/7/30, or when you meet someone, be systematic about sending them a quick note mentioning something, and then within 7 days add them on Facebook or Twitter, or is anyone on Twitter anymore? But add them somewhere, and then don't connect with them somehow. We can now have face-to-face meetings. but just these small things of I am now kind of getting back into doing the networking face to face, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
I figured you would.
Yes. But the thing is, the next day I have 10 business cards.
Mm.
But now I'm excited about sending them a message, and I'm excited about connecting with them, even if I cannot do business with them, because they most likely are connected to people that could do business with me, even if they're not a BNI member. So I know that BNI is not going to be for everyone, and that's okay. But BNI can be the place that you come to when you need someone, whatever it is.
I always like to laugh. The comparison I like to use, because most people know I'm big into beer. I like beer. What can I say?
Me too.
However, okay, great. Though for me, I don't really like porters and stouts. Like that's not a flavor I enjoy. It's too close to coffee, and I don't like coffee. I still haven't been able to develop a like for it. I don't know why I keep trying. But so for me, like Guinness, I think is just not an amazing beer. It's just not. It's not that it's a bad beer. It's just not my flavor. And so sometimes when people kind of get thinking about networking organizations, I'm like, look, BNI may or may not be for you. For you and I, we like that flavor of BNI. For others, they don't. It's not that the organization's bad. It's just not everybody's flavor, and that's okay. You mentioned you've invited hundreds of people to the organization. And in our region, we did a little study, and the average visitor was bringing about $1,000 worth of revenue to the chapter within 6 months of them visiting.
Mm,
And to me, even if they never join, that's money that's coming in, and we're helping our members.
absolutely. And I don't
Now,
like Guinness either.
what's hysterical is we named our dogs Guinness and Harper because Harper looks like a black and tan that you would drink Guinness mixed with Harps. But I laugh. I'm like, I don't like the beer, but I love the puppy. I mentioned just a moment ago the BNI podcast. So it's podcast 623. Actually has the 24/7 a follow-up system that you just mentioned. See, we're quick and on the fly. Technology
Yes. It
today.
really it really works.
It does. I'm a huge fan of the BNI podcast, and there's a wealth of knowledge there. There's a wealth of knowledge in the BNI Business Builder. So you shared a little bit that. Has anything else unexpected happened because of BNI, whether it's business related or not?
Well, I would say after the pandemic pause that we had, I was approached regarding uh, a job last year. It came, one thing led to another. So I was offered this job. And because of my connection with BNI, I was offered to become country manager for a French logistics company in the Philippines. They've heard of BNI, and my experience from being in BNI actually convinced them that I was their choice. So I have actually already introduced one of my staff to BNI. And so let's see, I might, well, now I'm an executive director. So it's a little bit, I'm already busy being an executive director and the country manager. So I got my hands full. And I'm also a Toastmaster. So I had a very busy weekend this weekend with a Toastmaster from day to night. So it's all good. Yeah, one thing leads to another. And I'm also very proud that my region, so we're almost 400 members, we were able to be a principal sponsor of the Philippine National Conference. And we were able to reach 300 people, of which some of them already are our members. So
Nice.
we had a really good time, and I'm really proud that we were Toastmasters. I've been in Toastmasters for 6 years.
Mhm.
It's very close to my heart. So I feel like BNI and Toastmasters are almost like brother and sister. We are both organizations thrive on lifelong learning. And I love being around. people that are from both organizations, and we had people from all over the Philippines at this conference. And we want BNI Philippines not just to be in Metro Manila. So we have already branched out to some of the other parts of the Philippines, but hopefully we can continue, you know, reaching parts of the Philippines that are not BNI yet.
I get you. I get you. There's still a few places left in the United States that I think doesn't have it. Though we have been in BNI much. BNI has been in the United States way longer, I think, than in the Philippines. So we've got a little bit of a head start. So if people want to connect with you, how can we find you online on social media? How can we connect with you?
Well, if you see my name, uh, go to Google, type my name, and you'll see me. As far as I know, there's only one person with my name. But so I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, Jarmo Kihlstrom. So uh, that
Excellent, excellent. So before we wrap up, any last minute tips, techniques, thoughts that you want to leave the BNI members that are watching this with? Like, oh my gosh, how do I sum this up into one last final thought?
I'll say make sure that you come to the conference in Spain. I'm already signed up. I was in Singapore for the global conference and it was awesome. So please make sure that you come to Madrid in November. Let's meet there. And I'm looking forward to meeting you, Tiffanie. I hope you can make it this time.
Get to do that face to face in addition to all the online stuff. Well, I want to say thank you so much today for sharing a little bit about your story, some tips for the members, and really, yeah, BNI can be some amazing and unexpected things. So thank you for being here with us this week. Next week, I'm going to be joined by Jason Avery, and we're going to talk about how to turn your competition into collaboration. So I look forward to seeing y'all next week. Happy networking.